Cool. New times, new builds. Well, it's not really new. It's more of like a tweak on, just a tweak on some gems. I've been using this build for probably a couple months now. I just haven't uploaded it because, we got new stuff coming in, and I don't like uploading videos to just kind of go back on what I'm saying and then whatever. The point is, so this build right here is what I've been using. Let's go to the test dummy so you can kind of see what I mean. It's a nice build. It's got like a 1.5 mil sustain with like a 3 mil damage burst for PvP. It's quite good. I've been using it. It's more of a support build for Tempest, especially if you're like low, you're like your lower stats. It works very well. Let's see if we can do this guy. All right. So let's start with the essences. Helmet's gonna be Strident Bedant. Chest is going to be Overflow. Shoulders are Death's Dawn. Pants are Flaring Lighthouse. Main hand is Fanged House. Second main hand is Skyparter. By the way, side note, Skyparter will be nerfed on Wednesday, April 16th. So this Wednesday coming up, for all of you watching the video, it's going to go from an 8-yard reach down to like about a 4 or a 5. The Chinese servers kind of, same thing for the barb chains. The barb chains is going to go from 8 to 4. That's already kind of been being tested around in the Asian Chinese servers. And a lot of people have had complaints, mostly the barbs, about, it shouldn't go down to 4. It should be 5 or 6. Whatever they decide to do, it looks like they're listening to them. So we'll see if it's actually 4 or 5 or maybe 6. But the point is that Skyparter will get nerfed. You're not going to be able to reach as far as, because Skyparter shoots pretty far, man. It'll like auto target too. It'll like follow. It's pretty cool. I don't think that it'll be a huge difference, at least the way that I use it. But just a heads up that that's going to be nerfed. The last two things for offhands are Maruzi Spine and Glory to Khazra. Kasathra, whatever. For greens, my greens are a little fucked up right now, just because I just need a little bit of higher CR. But basically, it's a four-piece Gloom Guides, and I like to use. I mean, whatever you use after a 4-piece Gloom Guides, that's like the main thing. But whatever you use after a 4-piece Gloom Guides is really up to you. Obviously, I recommend a 2-piece Vithu. So I have that going, and that leaves you with like another 2-piece set that you can do. You can do a 2-piece Grace for extra damage. You can do a 2-piece Shao for extra damage. At least for this build, since it's mainly just primary spamming. I'm doing. We'll see. I don't have the Grace activated yet. I'm still missing 1 piece, but basically I'm trying to go for 2 Grace, 2 Vithu, and 4-piece Glooms. You can also do like a 2-piece Mount Bags for a little bit extra shield, and your 2-piece Vithu, your 4-piece Gloom Guides. But the main power is really just coming from the 4-piece Gloom and these gems. So let's go over the gems. Well, it's a combination of the greens with the gems and the essences, of course. But since we already did the greens and the essences, let's go over the gems. I have all these auxed. So you want Roiling Consequence. This is like the optimal kind of thing, right? You can also go down to like the 2 stars. There are plenty of 2 stars you can pick from. But the main idea for the gems are a Roiling Consequence or a Mother's Lament. If you have both, even better. I have both. So you want, basically the combo is this: Roiling Consequence, Mother's Lament, Bottled Hope, Morn Skull, Power and Command, and Fervent Fang. Spectre Glass is also a huge impact on the damage. Now, Power and Command, a lot of people have their opinion on it. I enjoy Power and Command because your Zephyrs are considered both a primary attack and a skill. So that means that they're going to benefit from this Power and Command with 100% uptime. So if it's on Power, which gives you 24% on your primary attack damage, your Zephs only use primary, so they're going to be affected by it. And since your Zephs are conjured, right, they're summoned or conjured by the use of a skill, they are also considered a skill. So they're going to get a 24% boost whenever they change. Maybe not to their primary, but to themselves in general, which by extension, the primary that they use will be affected by it. So that's 100% uptime on that. So if you like to leave Zephs around, which I do, it's great for that. So a little bit of how you want to do this, just a little bit of info on the playstyle. This is, like I said, more of a support build. I used to use the dot builds a lot. Somebody asked me how the dot build was doing today, and I told them not so well due to the fact that people are stacking a lot of resistance. So the dot builds aren't really, they're just not really doing a lot. The trick to this here is you need at least one piece of Eternal Gear with the Rolling Surf. The Rolling Surf causes primary attacks to launch water blades at enemies. So this gives you extra water blades, right? These blue things right here. So those little blue shots, those are the water blades, right? Those are not the boomerangs. The boomerangs are the ones that are spinning around me, the bananas, if you will. The water blades are the blue ones. So whenever you equip Sky Parter, if you choose to continue to use Sky Parter, and just real quick, a substitute that I would do for Sky Parter if you wish to not use it anymore after the nerf. I haven't even looked at that, but let's look at the essences real quick and see which one we can kind of like sub it out with. You could probably do Shriekworth. Shriekworth is a good substitute for Sky Parter. Fiendfell would be a good substitute for Sky Parter. You're shattering more armor. And that's really about it. I mean, unless you change skills, which I don't recommend for the build. This is kind of like a preset build that I've created and been using for a while. It kind of deviates from the meta of like Momentous Zonas and all that dashing bullshit. But basically, let's just get back to the point. So the combination of the geysers with the Sky Parter and the Fangdouse is a really deadly combination due to the shoulders. This will increase your damage by 19%. So you're basically increasing damage with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of your gems. 7. Literally 7. Literally all of your gems are increasing your power except for this one. But, I mean, I guess this increases your power, but not directly. It's more of like a, you stun them and get them. But, so you're increasing your power to all of these gems. And then you're giving it critical hit chance via Fangdouse, right? That's 34.5% crit chance increase for 2 seconds, right? This will reset on every critical hit. This is why Mothers and Rolling Consequence is so important, because this is going to reset, right? So the 2 seconds, I guess that would be considered a beneficial effect. So the 2 Vithu affects it. Shattering armor, pretty sure that's considered beneficial. Even if it's not, it's going to reset. So you're going to be shooting at them for about whatever the length of time that these gems are activated, usually roughly 6 or 8 seconds. They're just gonna. I mean, if you continue to hit them, it's just gonna be a good while of, you know. It's a good while. See, look. So right there, I got on the left there, I got roughly a 1.3 or so, like, sustained damage. It does shoot up to like 3.1, 3.2 for a quick stack. So that's the burst. But you basically want to keep that critical hit chance. Now, after you get all these gems and you get your greens, what I was saying before is you need this rolling surf. Why? Because the rolling surf activates the water blade. If I were to remove this shoulder and equip Sky Parter along with surfing, it would remove the water blades. So let's do that for the sake of the video. So if I were to remove this, right, and then surf, it removes the water blades. You see, I should be shooting water blades, and I'm not. The reason for that is another nerf from a patch ago or so, a couple patches ago. They removed the ability to kind of equip them both. So you need to farm Eternal Gear, and you need to find the one that says causes your primary attacks to launch water blades, and you need to equip that. Once you equip that, you will not only shoot the one water blade, but you're going to shoot the water blade, the extra water blade that you're equipping. Well, not the extra one, but you're going to shoot the water blade that you lost from equipping Sky Parter, plus the extra water blade that you're equipping that shoulder. So that's super important for this build. Otherwise, your damage is going to go down greatly. You can add more water blades if you want. I just don't have the Eternal Gear right now. So the idea is to set these devs up in a way that you can come over here and kind of stun the whole area, right? So if this dummy were the idol, correct? If this dummy were the idol, you would want to surf in, right? I mean, I usually run in and not waste my cooldown, but usually, you would kind of get him with the vortex and just kind of stun him there, hit him for a little bit, kind of back away, and then every time you do that dash, that breaker dash, you're going to be increasing your damage by 19% on top of all of that. Now for the Slayer tree that I'm using, it's going to be Slayer tree. Slayer tree is pretty good. A lot of people like, Gladiator. That's fine too. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to use Gladiator. It's just more limited on like the damage output, like you're required to kill, right here, you're required to kill to get that 12% for 10 seconds, which is great. Don't get me wrong. And also, of course, cheat death. But as far as damage and sustained damage output goes, Slayer Tree has really been a good friend to me. Not only am I getting a 10%, on top of everything that we've talked about, I'm getting a 10% increase on my primary attack damage, which affects my Zevs, affects me. Now, think about power and command as well. Think about all of that. It's also increasing the speed at which my primary shoots, which is, damage in and of itself. So you can increase damage to make more damage, or you can also just increase attack speed to create more damage per second. Either or is fine. Now these are together by the use of this tree. You're combining those together. You're combining 10% more plus 20% more speed. So you're gonna hit 20% more. You're gonna get 20% more hits per second. At the same time that you have 10% more damage on top of everything else we've talked about. It also gives me a 10% longer shield on top of my Vithu. That's great. The one that I really care about, we'll see how the nerf goes with the barbs on Wednesday. But those chains, man, the chains and the knockups. Remember, knockups and knockbacks are considered knockups and considered pull-ins as well, from what I understand it. So when it says knockback effects, that's your pull-ins, that's your knockbacks, and that's your knockups. So when you gain a shield, you're going to be immune to 2 of these knockbacks every 10 seconds. So let's say you shield often, like I do with Breaker. If you do math, like that's what? 2 every 10 seconds. A match is about 5 minutes. So you're looking at about 5 immunities per minute times 4 at least. That's roughly 40 times, right? Because it's 2 of them. It would be 20. The math is 20, but there's 2 immunities per 10 seconds. So that doubles it. So that's 40 times. 40 to 50 times, you're going to be immune to knockback effects. Again, that's pull-in, that's knockback, and that's knock-ups. That's chains, that's wizards, that's all those things, right? The monks that'll like pull you side to side. Like all of that, you're going to be immune to about roughly 40 to 50 of those per match. And in my opinion, that's huge. So that's pretty much it, man. I just kind of wanted to make a little video and show you guys what I'm doing lately. We'll go over it one more time. So that's 4-piece Gloom, 2-piece Vithu, and then 2-piece whatever your choice may be. Grace, Shalbas, whatever you want. 2-piece Wildfire is also great. Then you want your helmet to stun, Strata Bidet. Your chest for the geysers to knock them up. Your shoulders to increase more damage by 19%. Your pants for the Breaker Dash shield, right? And then you want your critical hit chance to go up with Fang Douse on your main hand there. Then you also want your Sky Putter. Again, that's going to be nerfed on Wednesday, but I think it should be all right. It should be fine. I don't think we'll be affected too much by it. And then your Maruzi Spine, adding another 28% to your Zephyrs. And finally, Glory to Kasra, which is going to increase your attack speed by 28% for 3 seconds. So that's, all of that with the Slayer tree. Again, 10% more, 10% more damage, 20% more speed, 10% longer shields, and 40 to 50 immunities to knockbacks a match. I hope this helps. You can sub in some gems or whatever if you want to. If you have questions or you want to, I don't know. Maybe you make a better version of this. You can do that in the comments. I'm glad. I'm always happy to make some tweaks. But yeah, cool. Thanks for watching.